Alright, so today we're going to be reacting to the remake of Pinball Map by In Flames. So, I mean, Clayman is a classic In Flames album. It's a classic metal album. It was formative for me, hugely influential, and I love it. And I heard the remake of the song Clayman itself, and it was not great. I mean, In Flames, they've taken kind of a different direction since Come Clarity. Some argue after Sounds of a Playground Fading, and I haven't been the biggest fan of the direction that they've taken. But the album I the Mask was actually pretty decent, so I feel like there's a place where this album kind of works, or this re-recording kind of works, but we'll see if it actually pans out for the remake of Pinball Map. I think Pinball Map is one of the heavier In Flames songs out there, so it's kind of a challenge to remake in their newest style. And I have here open the original version, and also, I have here open the remake, and on the other tab I have the original version, so we can kind of compare and contrast if need be. So, here we go. Here goes nothing. Cool video. I like pinball aesthetic, right? Alright, so immediately, like, that guitar tone just doesn't have the same slap that the original has. Like, compared to the original here, look. That's so much more powerful. I mean, that Fredrik Nordstrom production is just iconic and so heavy and deep. And compared to this, the new version just sounds, toothless. There's a way to make this type of sound work with like a more modern production. So for example, if we go to this like Cytotoxin song, right? This is like it sounds so thick compared to what we have here with the In Flames song. So clearly it's doable. So why not? What's wrong, right? Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, vocally, Anders is like 20 years older than when you recorded the original album, so I think it's reasonable to expect that, he's not going to sound the same way that he did. But actually, I think vocally, he sounds pretty good here. Like, the screaming is pretty on point, but one thing that is missing that I think takes away a lot from the atmosphere of the song is, in the original recording, there is a second track of vocals that is just low spoken word that just does the lyrics on top. And when you take that away, it takes away from the atmosphere of the song. So let me play this for you. Try to listen. It's like, complex serum is my aura, is the kind of thing that you have going on in the background. It's like panned left and right, and the main vocals are panned center, and the additional spoken word tracks just add so much more depth and kind of heaviness to the song. So that I mean that doesn't even take like a screaming technique or anything. So I'm not sure why they opted not to do that in this remake version, because I think that would have added a lot more of the kind of classic character to the original song. Also, like, this guitar tone is just... What's with the ending of that riff there? Like, why did they just... It sounds like they just kind of gave up and, like, pinch harmonic at the end instead of, like, kind of transitioning into the next riff. Like, compared to here. So, like this kind of transition, whereas in the original it's like... I mean, this is kind of like a Kill Switch and Engage thing, where playing the live, they just like add random pinch harmonics here and there. And, I mean, it doesn't sound bad necessarily, but I feel like it kind of destroys the energy you have going from the verse to the chorus, and it's like... Anyway, now one of my biggest problems with this remade version is coming up. So the like that riff in the original, we have this like really heavy alternate picking, like this kind of punchy, slappy alternating that goes back, that anchors it at the pedal of like the root note. So listen here. So like this kind of punch to the riff is completely gone in the new version. It's like in the original they like down picked it all, and in the remade version they're just alt picking it. It feels like. Compare here. It's just kind of like, again, like it's something that they totally could have done, but they chose not to do, which just detracts from the song for no real reason. I like that slide up to the octave at the end of the riff, though. So like that that they hit at the end, that actually is a pretty cool trick. Like, I like that. Let's listen to it again. So the chorus, there's some good here and some bad. I think the clean vocals aren't powerful, and like the biggest criticism I've had of like recent output of Anders is that the clean vocals, just he doesn't put power behind them. And maybe that's an age thing, right? And that's, you know, that's fine. And instead, I mean, that's compared. Let's compare the original just for the sake of comparison, right? It's like "guy dead by" instead of "guy dead by." Like, that's fine, right? But one thing that is cool in the original, that if you notice, there's this like slight synth at the end of the pre-chorus. That kind of sound, and that's a cool sound. That, again, they could have just done that, but they didn't, right? But instead, in the new version, in the chorus, they have these like additional layers that give it a little bit more depth that I actually kind of like. That kind of sound in the background. Listen to it. That's pretty cool. That drum fill there, that drum sound is just so toothless though, like that, like the drum hits just slap so much harder in the original. Again, a completely avoidable production mishap. Like, why? I'm just gonna skip over because it's the same thing for the next verse and chorus. Okay, so that little lead over there, let's compare it to the original. I like the kind of original lead a little bit more. There's a little bit more expression to the lead. Like, it's played with a little bit more kind of fervor. And then the remake is just kind of, you know, they're just playing it like it's like I don't know, kind of feels phoned in. And like, part of it is the production being so much more choppier and like heavier in the original. That kind of takes away from the riff. So yeah, whatever. But here comes the biggest thing. So let's listen to the original here. Like, that's sick, right? From the chorus, you go immediately and just like, bam, slow down, break down, and then build up, and hits you like a truck. That's like the sickest part of the song. But what do we have here instead? Wait. What is this? Like, why? This just completely kills the energy of the song. And it's like unnecessary. So again, I like the additional synths here, the kind of higher kind of atmospheric synths, but like the way this riff transitions from the chorus to the breakdown is just takes away all of the punch of the original. Like, that's like the focal point of the song that kind of drives through. And by doing it this way, they just rob the song of all of its energy. The synths are pretty cool. That left-right pan attack thing, again, that one also is like weirdly botched. Like, listen to the original. Since the tone is so much more powerful than the original, the chugs are like much bigger, so the lack of the chug creates much more kind of empty space. So they go from like like that contrast between the panned and the non-panned version of the chug is so much bigger. Whereas in the remade version, since the production of the chugs is weaker and there's like additional synths and whatnot going on, there's way less blank space. So there's no contrast between when the chugs are hitting it or not. So it again takes away from this. So listen here. And it feels like they're not palm mute. It feels like they're just like open string mute instead of like chug. And it's like, again, like they can chug. They're like, I don't understand what's going on. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about why completely avoidable decisions make this remake of Pinball map so much weaker. That's it. I don't know. Unnecessary things. They could have totally avoided a lot of this and it would have been perfectly fine, but it is what it is.